proud, we set the tone. Community chat with Mrs. Jones. Community chat with Mrs. Jones. All for one, we're not alone. Black and proud, we set the tone. Community chat with Mrs. Jones. Community chat with Mrs. Jones.
Welcome again to Community Chat, the show that celebrates unsung heroes and quiet champions making real differences in their community. This is your host, Joan Edgehill, President of the Jamaican American Association of Central Florida, Vice President of This is Jamaica, poet and author of the book, Still We Smile. Now just sit back and relax as we dive into the heart of what makes our communities thrive. It's time for us to chat, share, and be inspired. So we have with us today a wonderful young man by the name of Mr. Jay Brown. How are you today, Jay?
Oh, I am doing so well, Miss Joan, and thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to be with you and with our island community today.
Amen. Thank you. So, as I said, join me in welcoming Jamal Michael Brown, MBA, known best as Jay. He is a distinguished leader in the insurance and financial services industry. He was born in the beautiful Bahamas, and Jay has built an impressive career spanning over 2 decades, marked by his dedication to serving others and making a meaningful impact. As a district general agent with the Colonial Life and regional vice president with North American Senior Benefits, he has earned numerous accolades, including the prestigious Lighthouse Award from Colonial Life. With a strong education foundation, including an MBA from Kaplan University, Jay is a sought-after expert in his field, known for his exceptional leadership and commitment to excellence. So it is my pleasure to introduce to everyone out there, Mr. Jamal Michael Brown, a true leader and an inspiration to all of us. Yes, so now we will. Oh, you're most welcome. And now we'll continue. So, Jay, growing up in the Bahamas must have had a profound impact on your life. Can you share with us how your childhood experiences in the Bahamas may have shaped your values, your work ethic, and ultimately your career path?
Oh wow, that's a loaded question, Joan, and I'm going to try my best to do this one some justice. But I love my island, even though I've lived here in America for so many years now. The heart of who I am, it's rooted in those values. And I want to start by saying, my father is a pastor in the Bahamas. My grandparents were pastors, ministers in the Bahamas. My great grandfather, he founded the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Bahamas. So I'm from a family that's rooted in Christianity and strong faith. And so that's helped to shape a lot of my values, morally, ethically, and in so many other ways. My parents, I'm from a family of 8 kids, and they never said to us, hey, this is what we want you to do, but they always encouraged us to be the very best that we could. And at a very early age, everyone realized my talent and my gift for singing. And so I've been singing ever since a young 7-year-old kid. And there was not an event in the Bahamas that I was not present singing at. From 7 years old until I left home for college, I won many awards throughout the Bahamas as a young boy, as a young teenager, and even as an adult for male vocalist. And so a lot of my childhood, it was not a normal one playing out in the yard a lot because I was always on the road doing music in the Bahamas. That was challenging because I still had to balance, of course, school and everything else. But I've always enjoyed just singing. At the age of 13, I realized my love and my passion for the funeral industry. And unlike most kids or teenagers having a lot of fun, I was in the funeral home learning how to embalm dead bodies and serving families ever since I was 13 years into college. And so between music and then working in the funeral home and being a part of ministry, that was my life as a child. And again, being from a big family of just strong values in so many different ways, I mean, that's what rooted and grounded and anchored me before I was able to leave my country in 1999 to come to America for college.
Wow, wonderful. Now, talking about that, singing is something that's very important to you. And you have you have sung for many of us. You sang at Andre's events, you've sang at the Jamaican American Association's church events and other events that we've had. So we appreciate that, your love of singing, and you have a wonderful voice. And you do this freely for us. So we love you for that. So God bless you. And thank you for sharing your voice, your voice with us. And you're
What an
also
honor.
a strong Christian. That's pretty obvious as well. So
Yes,
thank you.
ma'am.
Now, you've had a unique career trajectory, starting in the
Mhm.
funeral service, as you said, from a very young age, and then
Mhm.
transition into insurance and financial
Mhm.
service. So, what inspired this career shift, and how have your past experiences informed your current work?
Okay. Actually, that question right there, that can be answered literally just with one. Really, there's just one answer to that. So, being a licensed funeral director and embalmer for so many years, Joan, there were so many families, and bear in mind, I served in that industry for well over 20 years, and so imagine over 1,000 families serving each year. And serving in that capacity for over 20 years, I've served thousands and thousands and thousands of families.
Yeah.
And with that being said, so many of those families came to a table and they did not have life insurance. And
Mm.
while I was able to help them to plan their funeral services, it was a difficult conversation for so many. We would have to wait, until they would get the money, or do a car wash, or pass an offering pan around the church, or different types of fundraising activities just to bury loved ones. And it was
Yes.
in that I realized that I could get my life insurance license so that I can help families to prepare for that moment. And that was where that transition occurred. Now, what I did not know is that I would eventually leave the funeral service full time and pretty much become a financial insurance,
Yeah.
broker. And I absolutely love it because even though I'm not working in the funeral home, like you said, I have been promoted to a district general right now in the Orlando territory, all of Central Florida, just training and empowering agents now to become the best that they could in their field.
That's wonderful. So you saw an opportunity again to serve and to help others by
Hmm.
going into the insurance industry, and you took it. Well done.
Absolutely.
As a district general agent with Colonial Life and regional vice president with North American Senior Benefits, what are some of the most significant challenges you've faced in your role, and how have you overcome them?
Oh wow! As a leadership is, it's difficult when you happen to work with so many different types of individuals. And one of the things I have realized is that so many people come into the insurance industry, many not with just a heart or a passion to help, but really just to advance themselves. And so having to lead individuals with different mindsets or a different
Mm.
purpose, that has been one of my most, I would say, significant challenge. And how I've overcome that is really just being anchored and being rooted and being grounded. As individuals come in, I let them know straight from the very beginning, this is my heart, this is my passion. And if you're not able to align with that, you're going to have to find another district or another team because these are my values. And the moment I find someone, or if there's an individual who doesn't align with those values or with my vision, again, that's a very easy decision for me, to pretty much, hey, you're gonna have to move on, or I'm gonna have to let you go, because at the end of the day, it's about serving families and always doing the right thing when it comes to to individuals' life insurance and financial policies.
Yeah. I always say anyway that these challenges help us to grow and makes us stronger, right? And more resolute in whatever we're
Mhm,
doing. So we need these
mhm. And
challenges.
and that's tough for me because generally I'm the happy-go-lucky person. A lot of
Mhm.
people who know me personally, and they
Right.
see me in business, they're like, "Wow, you're a different person in the corporate world," and that
Yeah.
is true because I have to take a stand corporately, again, to make sure that values and ethically that the rules
Yeah.
and the standards are being maintained, and I can't play around with that. I have to be extremely resolute and strict, and really, that's not my personality. If you know me personally, I'm laughing, I'm having a good time, I'm loving on people. But when it's business, business is business.
Yes, and that's good. I mean, ethics are vital, right? And that builds trust. If you're not ethical, eventually those same people will not trust you. So
Yes,
be
ma'am.
your authentic self that you are. That's great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a short break for a few commercials, and we'll get right back to our interview. To learn more about the Jamaican American Association of Central Florida's many initiatives, events, and causes, go to jaaocf.com. Visit thisisjamaica.org to learn more about what we're doing for the children of Jamaica. Remember to tune in to CRRFM Radio Network, where you will get a little bit of everything. To purchase my book of poetry, Still We Smile, written under the pseudonym Joan M. Scott Lewis, go to Amazon.com or text 321-439-2130 to get your signed copy. Now, your educational background is very impressive, with degree from Compton Jones College of Funeral Service, Pensacola Christian College, and Kaplan University. How has your education prepared you for your current career, and what advice would you give to students who are pursuing similar fields?
Mhm. I have always been one to enjoy learning. And one thing about living is that we never stop learning. Even though I'm not currently pursuing a degree at this point, I'm still always reading and learning and trying to
Mhm.
advance myself
Yeah.
because I always want to be better at my skill set. And if there's anything to allow me to become 1% better every day, I'm going to look for that thing and I'm going to
Absolutely.
implement it into my life. And so, yes, I left home. I had a full academic scholarship to come here to the United States. When I went to Upton Jones College, I was the first Black valedictorian at that prestigious mortuary and pathology school.
Congratulations.
Maintained all A's during that time. I went to Pensacola Christian College and I was a part of the president's list, always maintaining great grades. Kaplan, or Purdue, which is now Purdue University, very same thing. Graduated at the top of my master's degree class, and for me, learning is important. And I'm a teacher by heart. Even though I do a lot of other things, I love to learn and I love to teach. And I would say to any individual, whether you're pursuing the very same career path that I am in right now, or if it's another career path, just a path, just truly love what it is that you're doing. I mean, if you aspire to become a doctor, love the learning process. Yes, it's going to come with some challenges, but you have to love it because that love and that passion, for what it is that you're going to do, that's going to really, really make everything better. Like there are times when I did not feel like studying, but because of my love for learning, my love for the field of pathology and embalming, my love for business, it gave me that hump to get over. And so whatever it is that you're pursuing, just try to develop a love for that. And if you don't love that, maybe it's not the right field. Maybe it's not the right thing. And so when we are driven, are purpose driven, when we know what our purpose is, it is something that our heart is truly passionate about. Love aligns that purpose. And so if you are in a career path or, and you're like, well, I don't really love this, you're not going to produce the very best. And so find what you love so that you can shine and you can really, really be the person that God has designed you to be when you are truly walking in that purpose.
Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree because I used to be a stockbroker and was doing well. Yeah, I was doing really well, but I was not happy. I wanted to teach. I wanted to be a teacher because, like you say, to me, teacher is one of the most rewarding careers because you're teaching someone else and giving them the knowledge that they will need to pursue whatever career they decide to do. So even if you're not a teacher by profession, we can all teach someone, right? We can all pass on our knowledge. So awesome answer. Now, you received, as you said, notable awards, including that Lighthouse Award from Colonial Life and recognition on the President's List and such. So what do these awards mean to you, though? And how have they impacted your career?
For me, they're all meaningful. I have a niece, and I'll share this. She just started college in January. She's in Ohio right now. And one of the things she said to my mom, because when I left the Bahamas in 1999, I left about 100 trophies and certificates all around the house in a showcase. And my mom would never allow anyone to touch that showcase. And my niece, even though I've been away from the Bahamas since 1999, the other generation of in our family, they look at those things and they say, listen, I aspire, I want to be like Uncle Jamal. And, even though to me those things are significant, I was quite honored to have received every single award. I realized how much it's impacting the lives of the people around me. My son and my daughter, even now, I don't, go out and boast about a lot of the awards, but they know what many of my achievements are. And one of the things they say, Daddy, whenever I get older, I want an award like that. Or Daddy, I want to put on a cap and gown like that. Or Daddy, I would like to be hooded the way you were in front of all of those people. And so while honors and awards are important to me, I love the way they really encourage and impact the lives of the people around me. And then also one other thing is that it really helps to validate who you are in your field. When you walk into a room and people know that, hey, this is a Lighthouse Award winner, or this is a President's List awardee, or when people see that, you're validated in whatever it is that you're doing. And so while the awards are significant, I'm honored. I'm thankful because it really, really helps to place a stamp of approval on what I do every single day.
Absolutely, yes. Now, to continue, as a leader in your field, what advice would you give to aspiring professionals that are hoping to make a meaningful impact in the insurance and financial services sector?
For me, it's really a heart and a servant's heart for helping individuals. The financial industry is one where any individual who has the license can really come in and do really well. You can make a whole lot of money in this field. And so many people have come into this field and they've been driven by the money and not by heart. And so I would encourage any financial professional to always be true to who you are, to remember the laws that regulate our industry, and always remember that when you have a heart to help people, it really, really helps you do the right thing, not just one time, but all the time. And so helping and serving, just keeping those two things really at the front of what you do every single day, remaining a core factor of one's life, it would really help you to succeed, and not just to succeed, but to really, really, in my opinion, to help to change the next generation of leaders in this profession.
How do you balance your professional responsibilities? That's the one, with your personal life. And what self-care practices do you prioritize in maintaining your well-being?
This one, Joan, used to be a very difficult one in the past, But in the
Yeah.
past few years, I've realized that I need to take care of Jamal.
Mm-hmm.
And so weekends, for instance, I book, I mean, very seldom do I book events or any type of work commitments for the weekend.
Right.
And and I keep a very hard calendar. And my life is literally routine, extremely routine. If it's not in my calendar, it does not exist. And
Wow.
that's my mantra right now. It does not exist. And if it's
Wow.
not there, I'm not going to add it. I'm not going to hurt my head about it. If it's not there, it doesn't exist. I live by that every day. And when my calendar stops, it stops. And I have had to learn how to respect that first so that other people can learn to respect it as well,
Wow.
including the people who are closest to me.
Wow, that's really disciplined. I don't know. I don't know how you do it, but congratulations. It's working obviously for you.
Yes,
So,
and I say to my siblings, I say to my parents and all of my closest
oh my
friends,
gosh.
listen, these are some of my free times on this weekend, on this particular day.
Uh-huh.
If I mean, if, even right down to my calls, I have to do that because my life is so intense as a district general agent, and so I schedule even calls with my parents, and they know the times that I'm available. My siblings know the time. This is the best time to reach me, and my closest friends, this is the best time to reach me. And outside of that, I don't make apologies because they all know, listen, my life is busy. I love you all, but you have to respect my boundaries and my
Yeah.
calendar. Mhm.
Yeah, they say we should have boundaries, but that's another example of having those time boundaries as well.
Mhm.
How you
Yes,
spend your
absolutely.
time, how you're able to manage your own health,
Mhm.
as it were. Awesome.
Mhm.
Good advice, I
It's,
think, for all of us. Oh my gosh. Now, you had mentioned your children. So I want you to talk to us a little bit about your children, your beautiful daughter and son.
oh,
So
they are my
tell us
heart.
about them.
Those two, they live life with me. It's just the three of us, and it's so funny because whenever you see me, if it's not at work, you're going to see my children. They're part of
Yes.
everything that I do, and they are already they're young, 10 and 12, but they're already loving life, serving people. A lot of the very values, the core values of my life, I'm beginning to see those values duplicated in my children. They love people and they love serving, and they're very well educated. And I can tell already, even at 10 and 12,
Mhm.
that these children are really, really going to impact change around their lives. And so I'm a proud daddy for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I don't blame you. All right. So looking ahead to the future, Jay, what are your long-term career
Hmm.
goals? And how do you envision yourself continuing to make a positive impact in your industry and community?
Hmm. Yes. And so long term for me, I do intend to pursue my doctorate in business administration. And the
Great.
purpose of that for me, I would like to teach at a tertiary level at some point. Because my kids are much younger, I'm going to give them an opportunity to complete high school. And once my kids are done with high school, my goal is to begin focusing a little bit on that last academic degree for myself, to begin teaching at a tertiary level. And eventually, whenever I retire, I do want to go back to the Bahamas to give back to the community. And so I'll
Yes.
probably live half of, some time here in America and then doing a lot of different types of I would say philanthropy and as well as just serving my Bahamian community. So
Yes.
that's a big desire of mine for the future to give back to the Bahamas as much as I've given here to this country, America. I love living here, and I've done so much in this country. But I do desire in my retired years to give back to the next generation of Bahamians.
I love that idea. That is awesome. Okay, we are almost coming to the close, but I want to ask you, is there anything that our audience might be surprised or your friends even to know about you?
Oh yeah, so I had an opportunity to sing with Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston when the Bahamas Atlantis Hotel opened in 1996. Those were great highlights of my life. In the funeral industry, I was one of the embalmers on the case of Aaliyah Horton when she died in the Bahamas in the plane crash back in
Yes.
2002. And that was one of my most prestigious, for me, recognitions to be able to embalm a celebrity like Aaliyah Horton, who was one of my childhood fans growing up. And so, in terms of those, are just some fun facts about me. My career has taken me in so many different directions and
Wow.
places around the
Yeah.
world. But those are whether it's singing, being able to be on a stage with Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston, and then being able in my career to embalm Aaliyah Horton. Those are some fun facts, just interesting facts about myself. Yes.
Wow. In regard to Michael Jackson and Whitney, wow. What
Mhm.
was your impression of them
Well, I mean, I loved
personally?
them growing up. They were, again, I mean, it was a big choir that I was a part of during that time, but to be on a stage with them,
Yes.
it's still one of the highlights of my life.
I
And
can imagine.
I loved growing up and just, being able to listen to a lot of their music and just being on that stage, sharing a stage with them is always going to be something that I hold near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, thank you for that. Because I don't think you've ever told me that before. So I'm very interested to know, that part of your life.
Hmm.
Now, you had
Hmm.
mentioned some time back we had a Zoom, like a get together, the Jamaican American Association, and you have a connection with Sidney Poitier. Would you
Yeah,
like to
Sidney
tell us?
Poitier is my first. He's a cousin. He and my grandmother
Right.
are they're first cousins. So my great grandmother Irene Poitier and Sidney Poitier's father are brother and sister. Yes.
Wow, that's very impressive. I am very fond of Sidney Poitier. I think he's one of my favorites, and I know he's a
Mhm.
favorite for a lot of us.
Mhm.
Someone in my
And
association
so
called,
I am I
yeah,
am a Poitier. My mother is a Poitier in the Bahamas. Yes.
that's excellent. No wonder we like you so much. Thank
Hmm.
you so much for coming on today and for showing us what it means to live a life of purpose, passion, and service to others. You are the embodiment of leadership, dedication, and excellence. And you have a remarkable career spanning multiple industries, numerous accolades, and a passion for serving others. So thank you so much for sharing your story. And we all look forward to seeing the incredible things you will accomplish in the future. Keep on making an impact. And thank you so much. God
Thank
bless.
you, Joan. What an honor.
All for one, we're not alone. Black and proud, we set the tone. Community chat with Mrs. Jones. Community chat with Mrs. Jones. All for one, we're not alone. Black and proud, we set the tone. Community chat with Mrs. Jones. Community chat with Mrs. Jones.